Hi everybody again. I made it back after quite an eventful day. And before just trying to sort out and process what I've seen today, I just wanted to, I suppose, share it with you guys. I walked all over today. It's not something I've been able to do for, well, probably since the lockdown, to be honest. I think the last time I really tried to do anything like that. I'm just trying to think actually. Yeah, it wasn't even March. Because as I said in an earlier piece, I kind of had a love-hate relationship with the Philippines. Unfortunately, when I first arrived here, it was October, the end of October 2019, and I came from a lovely sleepy island called Gran Canaria, which is the Canary Islands, just off the coast of Africa. They belong to Spain, and I'd been there for, well, probably about 2.5 years, I guess, more or less. And yeah, obviously, I came out here for a number of reasons, one of which was to actually get involved, to see about the charity aspect of things out here, try and do some good with my marketing skills. I found a lovely woman as well, who I wanted to get to know a bit better. So, there was a lot of reasons why I came to the Philippines, but I think that it wasn't a place that I would originally have ever thought of wanting to come. So it was something that was quite a shock when I arrived, because it wasn't Gran Canaria, right? And I arrived in Manila and Quezon City, Balintawak, and those sorts of areas, and other Novaliches, Memorial Circle. I had some experiences there, and Makati, and just the pollution, the fumes just really virtually killed me. I was very, very sick within the first, well, probably about a week of arriving with the pollution. I couldn't hike anywhere, couldn't walk, it was such a shame. I wanted to go and do a lot of blogging, and seeing, Manila, try the street food and experience the whole difference of being in a different culture and country so far away from the West. And I couldn't. I was very ill. So I had to take grabs everywhere, which cost a fortune. And it just was just, for me, horrific, because I'm not that type of guy. I don't like sitting, don't like being driven everywhere. I certainly don't like traffic, let alone, oh my God, EDSA and Manila traffic, right? You guys will know it. So, yeah, I came to the provinces, and then it got blown up in the Tahal volcanic explosion. I thought it was thunder, because it's not too far down the road from where I was. And turns out, no, it was the top of Tahal blowing up. So that was kind of interesting. I had a lot of ash fall, a lot of problems with my lungs again, skin issues because you had to cover up because of the ash, so acidic, burning your eyes, your mucous membranes. It was, yeah. And then pretty much soon after that, we had COVID, right? And it really caused a lot of issues for me, like everybody else around the world. I got stuck here. I fell into what they call the 6 month trap. This is something you guys, if you're thinking of coming to just explore the Philippines, do need to be aware of. In the Philippines, you can renew a tourist visa on a rolling basis. You get, well, certainly I did as a British guy, got my first 30 days, no fee. So you just come in on your passport. Then after that, if you want to stay beyond, you extend it. I think you can stay for 59 days. And then you roll it thereafter. You can do monthly, 2 monthly at the satellite offices. And then if you want to do a longer slab, I believe you can go into Manila itself, and probably do 6 months at a time. But I've never tried that, so don't quote me. I don't know. The issue is, though, you can keep doing that for up to 3 years. Okay, so you can just be here on a tourist visa without ever leaving the country if you so wish, and for 3 years. But if you've been here doing that and you've been here 6 months, even if you stay and do that for up to 3 years, when you come to leave, you will need to get an exit visa. You can't just fly out of the country. You have to go, you have to be processed, you have to give your fingerprints, probably have to give everything really now, to get an exit visa. They have to do a police check, because you've been in the country for past than 6 months. They want to make sure you haven't committed any crimes here and you're going to now flee the country, I guess, whilst you're waiting to be processed or whatever. I don't know. And there's a fee to pay on that to get an exit visa, and it takes, I think, a few days, as long as there's nothing on your records. If there is, then you've got a bigger problem, right? So it's something you need to be aware of. I fell into that trap. My plan initially was, if things didn't look great in the Philippines for me, if certain things didn't work out, because I was originally meant to be going to teach English to Buddhist monks in Cambodia, believe it or not. Random, right? But that was where I was going. And then, of course, this opportunity came up in the Philippines. There was an opportunity in Malaysia, but I, then obviously crossed paths with the woman who's now my wonderful girlfriend. But she was here in the Philippines and doing the stuff in the Philippines. I came to the Philippines. But I was planning in the April to have gone across to Malaysia, to hop across there, because I'm also a travel writer. So that's something that didn't happen for me, because suddenly we got locked down. I fell into a 6-month trap. Of course, it was so hard trying to do everything with the immigration, because every immigration office was shut. So yeah, you do need to be aware of that. If you're coming and you're going beyond the 6 months, either leave before your 6 months and then come back in and restart the clock again, or be prepared to have to do the processing and pay the extra fee and wait to get your papers. All right, don't try and leave from the airport thinking you can get away with it. I don't know, because I've not tried that and would never try it. But if you read stuff online, I've heard of people being arrested, detained because they're trying to go and they don't have the exit papers. You don't want to be in that situation. Get advice, and do it the right way. Okay. So today, I actually injured myself. Well, I didn't actually injure myself. You got to be careful. I ended up walking. I just sort of followed my nose. I ended up walking through a very, I guess, kind of impoverished area. Like I said to you, there are areas in the Philippines which are really, sort of very, I suppose, well off, lots of money and affluence, but you can then very quickly and rapidly walk into areas that are just pockets of just, like today I just walked into open sewers, people getting washed in the street. There's no real running water as such. It's a hard life, right? That I would never know just how hard that was. But the people are amazing. I mean, in all those areas, I'm walking through and I felt just so, it affected me, because as much as I'm going through some personal stuff at the moment, some really serious stuff, I looked at, the areas I was walking through, and, you got kids playing in these open sewers, and, just, well, what are they going to do, right? They've got to play somewhere, but it isn't safe, but... but you've got everybody still trying to have a livelihood, and you've got little shops here and there and people selling milk tea and stuff. So again, what I tried to do, there was a little store selling some eggs, so I went and I asked how much the eggs were and bought some eggs, and milk tea again further on down, and just try and the money that I do have myself, I'm thinking, I just want to try and go into those areas and spend as much as I can there, because I'd rather they have the money than big supermarket chains who have got more than enough money. And there's plenty of people here going to the supermarket chains. I don't think they're going to miss one little foreign guy who doesn't have a lot of cash anyway, going and not spending his cash there. So I'd rather support these local guys, girls and kids. But I picked up, as I was walking through, I guess this is another tip for you. If you're walking through any of these areas or whatever, I mean, really, you need to be extremely careful. There are dogs. The Aspin dog is a fantastic Filipino breed, right? It is a street dog. They are lovely animals mostly. They kind of just own the streets. They just hang about and they usually won't give you much hassle. However, the area I walked through today, I thought, okay, maybe this area is kind of a bit more. I got to be wary of these dogs, possibly. I don't know, because I didn't know the area. So you've just got to be aware of what you don't know. And there were clinics signs up saying, rabies, instant emergency treatment, for bites and what have you. So, I'm a marketing person. If those shops and places are around in those areas, it kind of means that they've got business, right? Or else they won't be open. So it's just use your eyes, look around you. I tried to stay a wide berth of some of these dogs today, just in case. Because let's face it, I'm foreign. They're gonna know I'm foreign. They know locals. They know, even if I wasn't foreign, they just know I wasn't from there, and they can get spooked, startled, and just lunge and bite, even if they don't mean to, right? And even without rabies, a dog bite's not good. So be careful. Just look at what the dogs are doing around other people. If other people are avoiding them, you definitely avoid them. But even if other people are fine with them, again, as I've just said, the dogs do know if you're local or not. I mean, they did in the regions where I rented before. It took them about a few weeks to realise, okay, this guy's been backwards and forwards a few times, I can stop barking and chasing him down the street. If a dog does chase you, do not run, okay? Just, I'm sure you guys know this, don't run, okay? Because that will just provoke it further and you will probably be bitten next. So the best thing you can do if a dog's going to do that is to, you never make eye contact with that dog. Drop your gaze, assume a more submissive kind of looking at the ground, and yeah, just very slowly, back away from that situation. If the dog's blocking your road, don't try and go past the dog. Try and come away, but walk backwards. Do not turn your back on the dog. All right, that's another big no-no. Last thing on dogs, God, if I'm a dog lover, okay, so please don't get upset with this bit, but it's either you or the dog at this point. If a dog is going to attack you and it's decided, then you're kind of going to get attacked, right? In a dog attack, you're going to come off worst, all right? That dog has got a lot of square poundage in its jaws, and they are remember related to wolves, so so in an instance like that, if a dog does decide to attack you, the best thing you can do, if you have chance to, is to put your hand into a fist, okay? And when the dog's leaping at you with his mouth open, is to literally, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but trust me on this, is to ram your hand into its mouth, down into its windpipe, actually inside, because it will just choke. It will just paralyze it. So hopefully it shouldn't be able to bite onto you. And then the dog will be on your fist, kind of with its like that, with your arm down its windpipe, and then with your other arm you need to come up underneath it, in between its ribs, and literally give it a real good right between the ribs. Like I say, I'm a dog lover, so please don't comment on this and whatever me. I'm talking about if you're getting attacked by a dog here and how to defend against a dog attack, all right? Which could save you or your kid's life or your loved one's life, all right? So if dogs decided to do that, it's a real shame, but that's what you have to do. If you can't manage to get to that point, the best thing you can do is try and defend yourself. It's not great, but if you're going to put your arms up, a dog will just make an absolute mess of you. But generally put your front part of your arm up, not this fleshy bit on the inside. Don't do that. There's more stuff you can get hold of there. Here, there's less flesh, all right? And again, while it's holding onto this arm, you use your other arm to, yeah. Okay, that said, that's dog attacks. As for what I've done to my foot, luckily I hope I've sorted it. I got a piece of metal stuck in my foot, a very fine piece that got into my shoe, and that's something else. Wear socks. I didn't wear socks. I should wear socks, but I find that in the humidity, the socks, they can give you blisters. It's a catch-22, but not wearing socks. Today, what happened to me is I got a very sharp, long piece of metal stuck in my heel. And I was trying to walk home on the back part. Luckily, I was in an area where there were tricycles, thank goodness. Some areas don't have tricycles, they don't allow them down the road. I just suddenly couldn't put my foot down. I was in so much pain, I was just done. So thank you to the tricycle driver who brought me home, really kind, and gave me a really good price. So I gave him double actually, because he didn't have to bring me right to where I'm currently renting. It's a bit of a trip out for him. So yeah, I'm really appreciative to him. What I saw today in the barangays and, like I say, those neighbours I walked through kind of moved me to the point of thinking, I don't know what I can do. I just feel I got to do something. Um, Not because I don't think people want feeling sorry for. I think people are very happy, probably just be living their lives because that's what they're doing. But like tonight, we got asked for money again by little street kids who come along, and this little guy, I felt awful because I completely forgot I actually had some coins in my pocket because I don't usually pay with cash because I haven't been out. I just sort of stayed in. So, and at that point, I was kind of okay. Where am I? I'm kind of a bit lost as to my orientation. So I'm trying to work it out on my cell phone. And I'm just saying, I'm sorry, Paul, I don't have any, right? And then, of course, after he'd gone and I'd worked out where I was, and I thought, yeah, I actually have some change in my pocket. So I tried to find him, but it was too late, he'd gone. So you will come across a lot of street kids here in the Philippines. Many of them, from what I can gather, I'm not an expert in this, many are usually either sent by their parents to go and get extra money for the family. And others are part of gangs, okay? So think like Oliver Twist gone wrong. So not all of them are legitimately, how do we put it, like, yeah, in that real big mess, all right? It's almost like a business, right? To send the kids out. So this is why it's very hard to know when and how or if to even give money to these street kids, right? I think it's difficult. I think it's really difficult. And I'm just trying to come up with some initiatives now as to what I can do with that. Because, if these kids are legitimate, and some of them really are, then, what other option have they got? Right? There's no government benefits as such here. I don't know about social programs. There are NGOs, but NGOs can't get everywhere. They're living, as I've seen today, in areas where there's just open sewers, not really much of anything for the kids. Whether they go to school or not, I do not know. Possibly not. So they're not learning another language, which obviously in this case would be English, which would really give them some opportunities. As much as Tagalog's a wonderful language, English is kind of the main, isn't it, the main language, even in their own country. So, what hope have they got really? And if they don't have electric, they certainly don't have laptops. They certainly don't have Wi-Fi. I mean, they have a cell phone maybe, but even then they might not. And then it's buying load and affording, as I know, it's not cheap. When you've got to choose between food or load, you choose food. So I'm thinking there's got to be something. I'm thinking whether, I can hand out some little cards in Tagalog and offer some free English lessons or something. But again, I don't know how we'd really do that, because if they don't have an internet connection, I can't connect with them that way to do anything online. So I'm thinking about what I can do. So if anybody's got any ideas or comments as to how I could help get involved in these areas, because I do want to help. I mean, I don't have money myself to throw at this. I'm really going to try and see if I can get some funding to help. But what I would prefer to is actually myself, to give what skills I've got, right? My background is marketing, obviously native British English speaker, quite well educated, so, got 2 kids myself, back in the UK, so, I think maybe this is the reason why I ended up in the Philippines, I don't know. There's a lot going on, but today just really hit me that as much as I think I'm in a mess, and I was certainly with my foot earlier. Luckily, I managed to dig it out. I'm just hoping it's going to be all right, because again, you've got to be careful with tetanus out here, particularly where I was walking today. A lot of, like I say, open sewers and kind of bit grotty to walk through. But people are living in that, and I'm not. So I'm lucky. I can come home. I can have a shower. I can sanitize my foot. I can dig out a piece of metal. I have a light I can use. I mean, my eyes aren't great, but luckily I've got bright light. These guys don't have anything like that. So what are they going to do, right? And they don't have any healthcare or health insurance, I doubt. So yeah, very humbling experience today, but very motivating too, because you also see that people are mini enterprises, like I said, the little sari shops and everything. So anyway, this piece has turned into 20 minutes, too long, right? If you've got this far watching, thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel. Please consider shopping in the shop for any merchandise. I keep saying this, but again, if you've got pictures of the Philippines that because you've been here and you want to put them on some canvases or whatever and have them made look really nice, hit me up. I'll be happy to do that. And some of the profits, as I say, from everything, not only do they help me stay afloat here at the moment in my situation, and help spend it with these local communities so that we're keeping them afloat as well. I'm thinking, okay, I can now take some of the profits if I make some and put it into some of these initiatives, like whether we can get some either some food programs in, or some English, teaching the kids English in a group session maybe. Give them some opportunities, all right, because there's got to be more than just them being on the streets selling rags, or tea towels, for a few pesos. It's living hand to mouth. And my kids in the UK just don't know they're born. They've got every gadget going, and you look at this and you think, okay, yeah, if they were my kids, I'd feel as a parent really hard to know how to make their lives better. That is universal. As a parent, you do want your kids to have an okay life. So, on that note, stay safe, everybody. Keep watching. Anywhere you want me to go and explore, or what you want me to find out, let me know. It's your channel too. Tell me what you'd like to know. And I'll see if I can go and find out those things to shoot. As I say, for me, it's very difficult. I haven't been out for quite some time. So this is kind of pushing me out as well. So you're helping me. So thanks again for watching, everybody. All right, stay safe. See you soon.